Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna do classic rock reaction, man. This is Led Zeppelin. We're on to Led Zeppelin's ninth album, and that being Coda. Coda is the last of their albums, officially In Through the Outdoors, the last of their albums, and then Coda is a selection of outtakes from previous sessions and whatnot, and they put it all together in one final album for contractual obligations, but also too for the fan base, because the fan base, I guess, they were calling for a compilation of sorts, because there's quite a lot of bootlegs and outtakes of sources that they were aware of. So I guess that's how Coda was born. Very interesting, man. So we're covering a song today called Walter's Walk. I believe Walter's Walk is the last song on side 1. All right, man. Led Zeppelin, Walter's Walk. Let's get it. Thunder right away. Every tear that falls is a smile that's lost. Walter's Walk is a state of depression and disillusionment. Thunder that Bruno was driving.
Does it matter now?
Excellent. Excellent. That was excellent. That was an excellent groove, man. You know what I was thinking as this song is playing? What a really good introduction song to the sound of Led Zeppelin this would be. I mean, it's got the rhythm section just doing their unified jam. It's got great guitar solos. It's got excellent vocals and overlapping vocals, which creates a really nice harmony there. Yo, if let's say you were to sit somebody down who'd never heard Led Zeppelin before, this is not a bad song to introduce them to the sound and musicianship of Led Zeppelin without really punching them in the face too hard at first. When I say that, it might be a touch too much for them if they were to be introduced to the Lemon Song or something really hard dropping where they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? But this song, Walter's Walk, is a really nice, easy introduction to the excellent sound of Led Zeppelin, the tight musicianship, the nice, wonderful thunder of John Bonham, the bass groove, and all that Led Zeppelin offers where it comes to their great signature sound. This is a really nice, easing you into it nicely intro song to their sound, don't you think? That's what I think anyway. That's what I was thinking as I was listening to this. And the subject matter, of course, is relatable. This person, whoever it is, maybe his name is Walter, going through a state of, but I think Walter's Walk is a state of being. It's a state of going into bewilderment and being depressed, not being able to figure things out, not being able to excel at that. In this case, I think it's a relationship. He's just not getting it. He's just not I don't know, just can't land a relationship or just can't make it work. There's something about a relationship in the mix of this. But I think Walter's Walk can apply to just almost anything in life that challenges you, that could keep you bewildered, and frustrated for not kind of being able to figure things out or master something. You go into a state of depression and disconnect and all of these different things. You feel like a feather in the whirlwind, as my mom says. So, man, Walter's Walk, excellent. And these songs from Coda, being, basically a mismatch of songs and all that stuff so far, has been really good, man. I know that a number of people have said to me, it's not their best. It's not as good as whatever. It's not this, it's not that. Well, you gotta remember, these are basically just a mismatch of different things coming together. It's not like a very focused, deliberated crafting of an album. You know what I'm saying? When they sat down and they crafted physical graffiti. They put things together. They worked on a project. It's kind of like The Who, when The Who sat down and they're working on Tommy or Quadrophenia. They're crafting something. This wasn't the case. It was just a melting pot of, which is not a bad thing, So, all right, Coda might lack kind of like maybe an overall creative body of thought, but all the same, don't take away from the mastery of these guys and their musicianship. Yeah, all right. It's not well crafted, as well crafted as other albums, but the mastery of their musicianship, they're still Led Zeppelin. That's what I'm trying to say. So to a lot of you who say stuff to me like, oh yeah, don't be too what's the shit that you said? Some of you, don't be looking forward to it, or don't expect too much, because it's this and it's this and it's this and it's this. Well, all right, I can see your point, but I think that those sentiments and those comments are coming from Zeppelin fans that are what I put in the class of fanatical to the point of being irrational. That's where I categorize some of you. you are fanatical fans to the point of being irrational fans, you know, and that's not always a good thing, because you'll say stuff like this, give me this impression, and now I'm coming into it kind of like having this, I don't know, negative state of mind. I try to fight against it, but a lot of the times when you're writing these comments to me, I kind of come into a reaction preconditioned sometimes, and that bugs me. But I've learned to use my own mind. I've learned to make up my own mind. I've learned to withhold judgment and hold off, and not get too caught up in the hype of your fanaticism. You know what I'm saying? I'm not shitting on you, but I'm saying that there's a number of you, and you know who you are. You are very consistent too. I almost know some of you by name now. You're very, very consistent in telling me what is the shits and what's great, you know, and the stuff that's the shits, you really, really tear into it, not stopping to think that there's other people out there who might really like that particular song that you're shitting on. This is the reason why, just going off a little bit more, this is the reason why I never waste time in uploading and publishing songs that I don't like. And I will never share with you what I don't like. That is not the way I roll on my channel. And a lot of people have judged me for it. Hey man, you know, you're always praising these songs. You're only going to see songs that I like on my channel. That's it, bottom line. The songs that I don't like, I don't talk about. I completely cast, and I don't ever bring it up. Because if you really, really like that song, it's kind of like, you know, tearing your walls down. And why waste time doing that when there's just so many other great songs out there to enjoy? So my point is this: Led Zeppelin fans, fanatical, irrational Led Zeppelin fans, when you are writing me these notes, remember, you're dealing with somebody who's still very, very impressionable. You're dealing with someone who, despite being aware and being mature enough to say, I'm going to hold off and not get too excited, I can't help but sometimes get excited, right? Or I can't help but sometimes be preconditioned to expect nothing but drab, you know. So just guard yourself when you're letting us know what your impressions are, because some of you express yourselves in a way that's just so totalitarian that you know, it makes an impression. That's all I'm saying. I just wanted to get that out, because there's quite a number of people who and they're going back and forth in the comment sections, and sometimes they get a little bit confrontational, and it basically rains on somebody else's day. So I've had messages, I've had some private messages saying, hey man, this particular person is just a real downer, you know, and you know, you got to check this person, you got to check that. So I'm just giving a blanket statement out there. I know that music is very important to everyone, and you have your opinion, but don't tear somebody else's house down. I just wanted to get that out there. You know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to a couple of you. So enough of that shit, man. Let's focus on the music. Let's focus on the song. Like I said before, I wanted to say that this song, definitely it's not one of Zeppelin's best. It's not in the higher echelons of their greatest or anything like that. But again, it is still Led Zeppelin. Yeah, and it still has all of that wonderful signature sound that we like. It has all of those ingredients that makes it an excellent song. And I've said it a number of times. You can take this, I don't know, B-grade Led Zeppelin song or whatever you might class it as, give it to somebody else, give them a whole slew of Led Zeppelin B-grade stuff, including the crunge, right? And they can have a successful career. They can have a wonderful, fantastic, successful career. So I know that Led Zeppelin has a bar yay high, but we got to kind of keep it in focus, comparing it to what's relative, you know. And I think that this is an excellent song from beginning to end, not comparing it to anything else, just judging it for what it sounds like, how it's making an impression on me, and all of that. I think it's an excellent song, and I would give it on the standard of just in general, a 5 out of 5. I would give it in general, where it comes to Led Zeppelin songs, a 4 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? And where it comes to Led Zeppelin, let's talk about the crunge. I'll give the crunge a 2.5 out of 5. You know, so I don't hate the crunge. I don't like the crunge, but I don't hate the crunge. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's just not, in my opinion, worthy enough to do a reaction to it, because overall, it's more so, in my opinion, not a great song. You know, so that's why I decided not to ever do a reaction and publish a reaction to the crunge. I'm still being taken to task for that 6 months later. Can you believe it? All right, man. So, hey, great song. Like I said, I really like it. I'm really enjoying the Coda walk and the Coda journey. I'm glad that I held off judgment and decided to make up my own mind. And so far, I've really been enjoying it, man. So let's do a little read. Let's do a little background and see what we can learn about this song, man. Every song has a story. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like this particular one has song info. Just a couple of lines about the song, and then more so album info. Okay, we'll read that, man. So, Walter's Walk. Walter's Walk appears on the album Coda. Coda is a rarities compilation album by English rock band Led Zeppelin. The album is a collection of unused tracks from various sessions during Led Zeppelin's 12-year career. It was released in '82, 2 years after the group had officially disbanded following the death of drummer John Bonham. The word coda, meaning a passage that ends a musical piece following the main body, was therefore chosen as the title. The vocals to Walter's Walk were added in 1982, and the song was remixed for Coda. An instrumental version of the track appears on the deluxe edition. Yeah, that'd be cool. Going back to what I said earlier about just sitting someone down who's completely unaware and really green about Led Zeppelin and just playing this track and giving them a first impression of their sound. That'd be interesting to listen to just the track without vocals so that they can get an impression on the musicianship alone. That'd be quite an impression, I'm sure. Walter's Walk was based on a guitar lick Jimmy Page came up with during live versions of Dazed and Confused. Bits and pieces of the instrumentals in this song came from Dazed and Confused and The Crunge. Since Coda was part requiem for the late drummer John Bonham and part contractual obligations from Atlantic Records, the song was thrown together from previously recorded tracks. Okay, still a pretty good piece of work, man. The cover, album cover. The album cover was designed by Hipgnosis, the fifth album cover the design group designed for Led Zeppelin. It was also the last album cover Hipgnosis designed before disbanding in '83. The main four letters Coda are from an alphabet typeface design called Neon, designed by Bernard Elam in 1978. Okay. Critical reception. Critical reception. Reviewing for Rolling Stone in '83, Kurt Lauder hailed Coda as a resounding farewell and a marvel of compression, deftly tracing Zeppelin decade with 8 powerful, previously unreleased tracks and no unnecessary elaboration. Robert Christgau wrote in his Consumer Guide column for the Village Voice, "They really were pretty great, and these 8 outtakes, 3 from their Elephantine blues phase, 3 from their unintentional swan song, aren't where to start discovering why, but despite the calculated clumsiness of the beginnings and the incomplete orchestrations of the end, everything here but the John Bonham drum orchestra would convince a disinterested party, a Martian say. Jimmy Page provides a protean solo on I Can't Quit You Baby and jumbo riffs throughout." Okay, yeah, man. Hey, look, I agree with Robert Christgau. According to Julian Marzlek of The Quietists, however, Coda has always been regarded as the band's weakest release. This is Julian speaking. Made up of 8 tracks that spanned Led Zeppelin's lifetime, it refused to flow as an album. Devoid of a coherent narrative, it felt tossed together to make up for contractual obligations." Unquote. And right you are, sir. Absolutely right. Everything you said here was perfectly true. And there's nothing wrong with what they did. You know, I just want to add that little footnote. In a retrospective review for AllMusic, Stephen Thomas Erlewine said, while it did not compile some notable non-album recordings, it offered a good snapshot of much of what made Led Zeppelin a great band, and featured mostly hard-charging rock and roll, including Ozone Baby, Darlene, and Wearing and Tearing, rockers that alternatively cut loose, groove, and menace. Unquote. Yeah, all of these, I haven't heard these songs yet. They're all on the, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, so they're all on side 2. Okay, so I guess maybe side 1 is kind of like an easing in, the weaker side, and then side 2 is the crazy, thunderous side. All right, looking forward to side 2. Yeah, man, so that's it. That's Wikipedia Song Fact info on the song and the album. And hey, you know, like I said, you know, they compiled a whole bunch of things, and they took things from all over the place. A whole bunch of ingredients went in together and created Coda. And I think so far it's a nice piece of work. I like the songs, bottom line, you know. Maybe, the 4 songs that I've heard so far might not be among their best and their greatest, but you know, there's got to be a best and there's got to be a worst. And Led Zeppelin's worst so far, as I've seen, is still pretty damn good, you know? So that's all I'm going to say about that. So my next Zeppelin reaction will obviously be one of these songs. Either Ozone Baby, Darlene, Wearing and Tearing. I think there's 4, so there's one that's missing. But that's okay. I'm not quite sure which one is following this. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. So that concludes my reaction and slight rant of this great song, man. It's a great song. And, you know, despite what some people might think of the album or the song itself, I personally like it. And so far, I'm liking the album. Where it comes to Led Zeppelin, I almost forgot. I skipped a song. So if this is Walter's Walk from side 1, the previous song to this is I Can't Quit You, Baby. I'm just looking at my note here. Now, I had actually done a reaction to I Can't Quit You, Baby way back when I actually started my Led Zeppelin reactions and reviews, and it's coupled together with it's a back-to-back. So the first, I believe, is Communication Breakdown, and then I Can't Quit You, Baby follows that. So it's kind of like a double shot, and it's one of my first Zeppelin reactions. And what I'll do is I will attach that reaction to this one so that you can see that previous reaction to this, to I Can't Quit You, Baby, and then follow kind of like a progression, if you will. So the reason why you probably have never seen that reaction is that it's blocked on YouTube. You can find it on my Vimeo and my Patreon account, but you'll probably have to scroll forever. So what I'll do is I will re-upload to Vimeo, and I will also make it public on Patreon, so you can watch that reaction. You probably maybe want to watch that reaction. Well, actually, you're watching this reaction, so no, that doesn't make sense. But you can go back and you can check that one out, because that's my reaction to I Can't Quit You, Baby, the Coda rendition. So that is my update on Led Zeppelin here. And I believe the reason why I reacted to the Coda rendition is that I was getting some notes from a few subscribers saying, hey, yeah, you know, there's 2 versions of I Can't Quit You, Baby. one from their first album and one from the Coda album. And the one from the Coda album has a really excellent concert footage attached to it. So that's what I decided to do. And I listened to the album version from side 2 of album 1 on my own time, right? So that's my update where it comes to that. My next Zeppelin reaction will be in a week's time from now. Next note, it's Who month. April is Artist of the Month, the Who's Artist of the Month for April. And so I'm still working through that. I just concluded Who Are You? And a complimentary quad. So it's on to another album reaction, another complimentary quad, and then I'll be finishing off Who month with the Isle of Wight, immediately followed by the 911 benefit concert. So that's going to conclude Who month. Now, a lot of you probably already know that I have a new channel coming. I'm going to make that official announcement on YouTube either later today or first thing tomorrow. So I've got a new channel coming, and it's going to be featuring works outside of the classic rock genre. So where do you define classic rock? By timeline, I define it as early 60s to early 80s. So anything outside of that genre, I will do reactions to on this new coming channel. It can be anything from the past, anything in the present, or what have you, a different genre, as long as it's got social appeal, meaning that it isn't just some crazy way out death metal or gangster rap, something that only one person is going to enjoy and everyone else is going to balk at. So it's got to have social impact where everybody will enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But outside of those parameters, outside of those restrictions, that's pretty much it. It's open for almost anything. So look for that coming soon. And those are my notes. Those are my updates, man. And that was my reaction to Walter's Walk. A great song, and I really enjoyed it. It's got a very good bouncy appeal. It would be excellent in the background of a party or something like that, just introducing some new ears to the Led Zeppelin sound. I'll keep that in mind and definitely add it to my playlist. Anyways, man, you guys have yourselves a good weekend. Stay safe out there. The coronavirus is just dropping people like flies these days, man. All right? And make sure that you wear a mask when you go out in public. I don't care who's looking at you like you're weird. And try to stay at home as much as you can. I'm hearing that shit can be absorbed through the eyes. So stay at home as much as you can, all right? Be safe. Okay, take care. I'll see you in my next Zeppelin reaction. Peace.